and just overall failure to handle the Russia investigation in any sensible way. And this comes, of course, on the heels of Mueller indicting 12 Russians, pretending that Russia's just going to ship them over to the US or something. I mean, it was mainly a straw for the left to grasp at. And I do hate to divide people like this left and right talk, but in this Russia investigation, it really is divided largely into two groups. I mean, in one group, you have the people who trust everything that the FBI says in the intel community, in the House Democrats, in the mainstream media, just without question. And then in the other group, there's the people who dogmatically don't trust the FBI or the intel community or House Democrats or any of them. And then in that same group, you also have the people who have done their research and know what's actually going on. As far as the dogmatic people that happen to be right about the Russia investigation, I mean, a broken clock is right twice. But the people who deny the corruption in the FBI and think that the entire Russia investigation is legitimate and have a strong opinion on it, those people are entirely dogmatic. There's no way to be educated on the full scope of what's going on, but think that Rosenstein and Mueller are running a tight ship. Of course, this also assumes that everyone is in the pursuit of truth. And while everyone might say that, it's not always the case. In fact, more often than not, it's not the case. But anyways, with Rosenstein, if you'll recall, he appointed Mueller to lead the probe on Russia, and he's continually gotten in the way of House Republicans trying to access documents relevant to it all. In fact, in the Flynn case, Chuck Grassley demanded that the FBI and DOJ hand over a transcript of Flynn's phone calls with the Russian ambassador Sergei Kislyak. And after they handed over what they wanted to, Grassley sent them a letter calling it insufficient. The beginning of the letter reads, "The department's reply to my May 11th, 2018 letter seeking information about the circumstances surrounding Lieutenant General Michael Flynn's reported conversations with the Russian ambassador and FBI records related to those conversations is insufficient. The letter only recounts a series of publicly known facts about Lieutenant General Flynn's plea agreement and relies on improper excuses in refusing to provide the requested information. The committee requires this information to fulfill its constitutional function and its charge under Senate rules to conduct oversight of the Department of Justice." The full letter is linked below, but it's also worth remembering how Jim Jordan, who's one of the two that was seen preparing the impeachment document, hammered Rod Rosenstein in his hearing, asking him why he withheld information from Congress. Rosenstein claimed that he hasn't withheld information, but he's verifiably delayed turning over classified documents related to the 2016 wiretapping of Trump officials. Of course, Rosenstein just said he wasn't the one doing the redacting and the withholding, it's the people working under him. And he pretended that this was some kind of legitimate response. These people all have scapegoats, and they put them in those places. And Jim Jordan has been accused of relaying lies perpetrated by Fox News because he said that Rosenstein has been accused of threatening to subpoena phone calls and emails, to which Rosenstein replied that you can't subpoena a phone call. But Jordan wasn't reading from a Fox News article. He was reading from an email someone else sent that Fox News possibly referenced. But it didn't originate with Fox News. It wasn't like Fox News contributors just came up with this out of thin air. It originated with then senior counsel Kash Patel to the House Office of General Counsel, in which he said that Rosenstein said he will subpoena your records and your emails, referring to the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence and Congress overall. But Rosenstein completely diverted away from the question by then criticizing the media, saying that Jim Jordan shouldn't believe everything he sees in the media, but it's not the media. It's an email from someone who is close to Rosenstein. And from the context of the email, you can extract exactly what they meant. And there's plenty of reasons to have Rosenstein impeached. I mean, it would allow someone to be appointed who will actually treat this Russia investigation as it should be treated. And Mark Meadows, along with other Republicans, have said that the documents could be filed as early as next week, even though the timing is fluid. I mean, they could try to hold Rosenstein in contempt of Congress. So there's options here, and that's largely why the timing is fluid, is because they have options. I mean, for the most part, they know what they want to do, and they have the evidence to do it, because they wouldn't be walking around with impeachment documents looking for evidence to justify the impeachment, because, I mean, that's what corrupt people do. Mueller. But anyways, it's worth looking at another story that was posted on Thursday. The New York Times wrote about how the White House overruled the FBI and offered broader access for some of the GOP lawmakers to documents concerning an informant related to the Russia probe. The goal is to find the informant's connection to the Trump campaign, because the House majority is obviously skeptical, and for good reason. I mean, the fact that the White House had to step in and overrule the FBI, and the fact that Rosenstein is battling to save transcripts from the Michael Flynn case, and the fact that there's delays with certain documents that are classified beyond what many members of Congress are even authorized to look at, is very concerning, and it's grounds to be hyper-skeptical. And as a final note on all of this, the Strzok hearing happened recently. Obviously, I did the video on it, and there were many things that Strzok couldn't comment on because the FBI counsel instructed him to not answer anything even remotely connected to the Russia probe. I mean, even things that wouldn't reveal any damaging information couldn't be talked about. And Goodlatte blamed Rosenstein for Strzok's inability to respond to certain questions. I mean, I'm sure that stoked these impeachment proceedings that much more. So we'll have to see what comes of all of this. As I said, the documents will likely be filed early this coming week, but the timing is all very fluid depending on how they choose to pursue this. So that's all for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all the support, and I should point something out to anyone who may be unaware of it, because I realize that I haven't advertised it all that well on the channel, but on Patreon, I offer a podcast once a week where I cover news that I don't really talk about on the channel. It's usually smaller news stories or things that don't tie into what I really talk about on the channel in general. So, I mean, you could donate $1 a month and have access to it. Just make sure to set your monthly contribution limit to $1 if you so choose. And the podcast for this week will be going up later today, so the link is below if you're interested. If not, I greatly appreciate you just taking the time to watch my videos. I mean, the support around this channel is why I put out videos as often as I do, and it's why I do the research to get the best answers that I can.